Let me ask you something. Have you ever laid awake at night, not dreaming of more money, but worried you might not have enough? Enough to stay in your home. Enough to cover a medical bill. Enough to avoid becoming a burden to the people you love. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And you're not wrong to be concerned. Because many seniors today, smart, hardworking people, are discovering too late that financial peace doesn't come from how much they saved, but from how they planned. Before we go further, I want to welcome you to Elderly Reflections, a place where senior wisdom, real-life experience, and honest truths about aging come together. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe for more reflections and insights like this, and tell me in the comments, where are you watching from today? It truly matters to me. Let's begin with the first, and perhaps the most heartbreaking, financial regret. I didn't think I'd live this long. It sounds strange, doesn't it? That living longer, something we all hope for, could become a financial burden. But that's what's happening. Margaret, 78, retired at 62. She had some savings, a modest pension, and a plan. It seemed solid. But she didn't account for rising prices, prescription costs, and helping her daughter through a divorce. Now she's renting out a room in her home just to cover groceries. I thought I'd be gone by now, she said, eyes lowered. And now that I'm still here, I'm scared. The truth is, many people today are living into their 90s and beyond. But their money isn't living with them. A recent study by Fidelity found that over 50% of retirees who live past 85 will outlive their savings. This isn't about fear. It's about facing reality. If you're in your 60s or 70s, ask yourself, what if I live 25 more years? Am I financially prepared? Meet with a financial advisor. Review your budget. Be honest with yourself. Because no one deserves to spend their final years anxious over every dollar. Now let's move to another regret that leaves people not just broke, but broken-hearted. I trusted the wrong people. John, 83, shared his story with me in a whisper. His grandson had asked for help starting a business. It sounded promising. So John withdrew $30,000 from his retirement account to support him. But the business failed. The relationship fell apart. And the money? It's gone. I thought I was helping, he said. But now, I can't even help myself. Sadly, this happens far more often than we'd like to believe. According to the National Adult Protective Services Association, 1 in 5 seniors has been financially exploited, and often, it's by someone they know. That's why kindness must come with boundaries. You are allowed to say no, you are allowed to ask questions. You are allowed to protect what you've built. If someone asks for money, pause. Get advice. Delay the decision. Because your security is not just your business, it's your future. Now let's talk about something many people discover too late. I didn't understand the cost of healthcare. Nancy, 79, thought she was prepared. She had Medicare. She felt safe. But then came a fall. A hip replacement. Several weeks of rehab. Her bill? Over $8,000. Out of pocket. I was stunned, she said. I thought Medicare covered everything. It doesn't. She's right. Medicare does not cover long-term care, most dental care, hearing aids, vision, or home caregiving beyond short-term needs. And when illness strikes, the costs don't ask if you're ready. So if you're healthy now, don't assume you're immune. Explore supplemental insurance. Consider long-term care coverage. Understand what's included in your plan and what's not. Because one unexpected hospital stay can erase years of savings in a matter of days. Next, let's talk about something that feels harmless, until it starts costing too much. I waited too long to downsize. Charles and Lillian, both in their 80s, lived in a beautiful 4-bedroom house for nearly 5 decades. But after Charles fell down the stairs, they knew something had to change. We should have done it 10 years earlier, he admitted.
Now they live in a one-level apartment with no stairs, no yard work, and half the expenses. So many seniors cling to their homes, not out of comfort, but out of memory.
But eventually, that home becomes a weight. Mortgage, maintenance, property tax,
Heating rooms no one uses. All while navigating stairs and slippery floors.
downsizing isn't giving up.
It's choosing a simpler, safer future while you're still able to make the decision on your own terms.
And now, let me leave you with a truth that's the hardest to face. I never talk to my family about what happens when I'm gone. No one wants to talk about death.
But the pain of avoiding that conversation can leave scars that last for years.
Do your children know what you want? Do they know where your will is? Have you chosen a power of attorney? Written down your medical wishes?
Susan, 76, said her greatest fear wasn't dying, it was leaving behind confusion. I've seen families torn apart over who gets what. I don't want that for my sons. So she sat them down. Had the hard conversation.
Handed them copies of everything. That, she said, that was my gift to them. Peace of mind. Planning isn't about control. It's about love. And it's one of the kindest acts a parent can offer their family.
These are the regrets that haunt people, not because they were careless, but because they waited.
And now, my friend, you still have time. You still have time to check your finances. To ask for help. To set boundaries. To prepare your documents.
To downsize with dignity.
To protect your future with wisdom.
If this message touched you, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and share your thoughts in the comments.
Where are you watching from today? Are you planning for retirement? Or helping someone you love? We're not just a channel here. We're a circle of wisdom. And there's a seat here just for you. Let me tell you about Harold and June.
They were both in their early 70s when they decided to take it easy after a lifetime of working and saving. They stopped tracking their spending.
Canceled their financial advisor.
Started helping out the grandkids a little too freely.
We just wanted to enjoy life, Harold said.
But by the time they turned 80, things had changed.
Harold's back gave out. June needed cataract surgery.
Their roof started leaking. And suddenly, they were staring at their bank balance like it was a stranger.
We didn't think it would disappear so fast, June said, tears in her eyes. But we just didn't keep track.
That brings us to one of the most common and dangerous financial mistakes seniors make.
I stopped budgeting once I retired. Here's the truth, retirement isn't the end of money management. It's the beginning of a new chapter that demands more care, more strategy, and more awareness.
Many seniors assume that once the working years are over, the hard math is done. But that's exactly when you need a tighter grip.
Why? Because you're now spending from a fixed pot. There's no paycheck coming next month. No bonus on the way. Every dollar spent is a piece of your future.
A meal now might cost a doctor's visit later.
A gift today might mean skipping your heating bill next winter. Budgeting isn't about restriction, it's about protection.
And those who ignore it often live to regret it.
Now let's talk about another silent regret.
I gave too much to my adult children, and not enough to myself. It's a beautiful thing to help your children, your grandchildren.
That's what love does. But there's a dangerous line between supporting your family and sacrificing your stability. Take Elaine, 77.
She co-signed a loan for her daughter, helped her son with a down payment, and even paid for a grandchild's tuition.
She meant well.
But now, she's living off Social Security and eating canned soup 5 nights a week.
They said they'd pay me back.
She told me, but life got in the way.
And I didn't want to keep reminding them. This happens to so many seniors. And it's hard to talk about, because we don't want to seem selfish.
But let me be clear, protecting your future is not selfish.
It's wise. You spent decades working, saving, sacrificing. That nest egg? It's not a community pot. It's your shield. Your safety net. You're right. And here's the harsh truth: if you drain your money helping everyone else, who's going to help you when the time comes? If your family loves you, and they do, they'll understand when you say, "I want to be here for you, but I have to make sure I can take care of myself, too." Now let's look at another overlooked mistake. I didn't prepare for inflation. 10 years ago, you could fill your grocery cart for $100. Today? That barely covers staples. And that's just the beginning. Gas, prescriptions, electricity, rent, it's all rising. But most retirement plans? They were built for prices that don't exist anymore. David, 81, told me he planned his retirement down to the penny. But he didn't factor in inflation. Now, with costs 30% higher than expected, he's cutting corners he never imagined. "I haven't bought new shoes in 3 years," he said quietly. "I just keep patching the old ones." Seniors who don't account for inflation often find their retirement shrinking beneath them. So what can you do? Start by revisiting your budget every year. Consider inflation-protected investments or annuities. Look at your income sources, are they keeping pace? Because the cost of living will keep rising, whether your savings can handle it or not. And now let's talk about a regret that affects not just your wallet, but your entire way of life. "I waited too long to ask for help." This one is heartbreaking because it's wrapped in pride. Jim, 86, said he was too proud to admit he needed help. "I didn't want to seem weak," he said. So he ignored the late bills. Skipped his medications. Stopped opening his mail. By the time his daughter found out, he was $12,000 in debt. We grew up in a generation where asking for help felt like failure. But the truth is, it's one of the bravest things you can do. If you're struggling to manage your finances, there are resources. Nonprofits. Financial counselors. Government aid. Even local churches. But you have to speak up. Because silence doesn't save dignity, it often destroys it. And finally, here's a mistake that creeps in slowly, like a shadow. I let fear stop me from enjoying the money I did have. Some seniors, after all the saving, all the planning, become so afraid of running out, they forget to live. I met Doris, 88, who had over $250,000 in savings. She never traveled. Never bought anything for herself. Wore the same shoes for 15 years. She was terrified of becoming a burden. She passed away last year, and her daughter told me, "Mom never let herself enjoy the life she earned. She left me money I don't need, and memories I wish she'd made." If you saved well, if your needs are met, it's okay to use some of that money to live. Take the trip. Buy the nice jacket. Go to dinner with your grandkids. Create joy while you still can. That's the point of all of it, isn't it? These financial regrets aren't about greed. They're about fear, silence, and missed chances. But here's the gift of being here, right now: you can still make different choices. You can start tracking your spending again. You can set boundaries with love. You can plan wisely and live generously. You still have time. If today's message resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to Elderly Reflections. We're building a community of senior strength, financial wisdom, and emotional healing. You are not alone. And tell me, where are you watching from today? What has your financial journey taught you? Let's learn from one another. Let me tell you about Anita. She was 86, living in a small assisted living center outside of Philadelphia. Every morning, she would wheel herself to the corner of the lounge, facing a large window that looked out onto a courtyard. Same spot. Same time. Rain or shine. When I asked her why she always sat there, she said something that still echoes in my heart. "It's where the sun touches me." She wasn't just talking about sunlight. She was talking about warmth, about life, about feeling alive. Because after months without visitors, without laughter, without touch, that morning sun was the only thing that made her feel like she still belonged to the world.
And that's where we begin this final part. With the truth that loneliness in old age can be eased, not by fixing everything, but by bringing back the warmth. You see, the loneliness we've talked about, the kind that creeps into the hearts of the elderly, the kind that whispers you don't matter anymore, it doesn't need a miracle to heal. It needs something much simpler. It needs presence. Let's talk about a few powerful ways seniors, and those who care about them, can push back against this silence, this fading. First, bring back conversations that matter. Too often, we talk at seniors, not with them. Did you take your pills? What did the doctor say? Did you eat enough today? But those aren't conversations. They're checklists. The elderly want to talk about their lives. They want to share memories. They want to laugh at their own stories, even if they've told them 10 times. When someone asks a senior, "What was the happiest moment of your life?" you can see the years fall away. Their eyes light up. Their voice softens. Because now they're not just being managed. They're being remembered. So whether you're a grandchild, a nurse, or a neighbor, ask something real. What was your first job? Who did you dance with at your wedding? What advice would you give someone my age? The answers might surprise you. And they will definitely stay with you. Second, include them, even when it's inconvenient. Loneliness often comes from being left out of the rhythm of life. Family gatherings, church services, even errands. Seniors are often excluded not out of cruelty, but because it seems easier or faster to do things without them. But inclusion isn't about convenience. It's about dignity. Bring them to the grocery store. Invite them to family dinners. Let them hold the baby. Let them stir the soup. Let them sit beside you while you fold laundry. Because presence heals more than any medicine. I once visited a home where a young couple brought their grandmother to every weekend picnic, walker and all. They set up a chair for her. Put a glass of lemonade in her hand. Let her feel the breeze. She never said much, but she smiled the entire time. That kind of inclusion? That's what saves lives. Third, reclaim the power of touch. A hand on the back. A hug before leaving. Brushing their hair. Holding hands during prayer or silence. These moments may seem small, but to someone who hasn't been touched in weeks or months, they are everything. Physical touch says, "You're here. You're still part of us." I once held the hand of a man named Henry during his last days. As I sat beside him, he whispered, "Thank you for not being afraid to touch me." He didn't mean the tubes or the machines. He meant his humanity. Don't underestimate the healing power of physical presence. It reaches deeper than words ever can. Fourth, help them reconnect with purpose. One of the most painful parts of end-of-life loneliness is the feeling of uselessness. The idea that their best days are behind them, and all that's left is waiting. But I'm here to tell you, that's a lie. Seniors still have purpose. They have lessons, memories, experiences that younger generations desperately need. Start a project. Record their stories. Let them write letters to their grandkids. Help them plant a garden. Ask them to teach you something, how to sew, how to whistle, how to tell a story. You'll see their eyes light up. Their back straighten. Their voice gets stronger. Because when people feel needed, they stop feeling forgotten. And finally, if you are a senior feeling lonely right now, please listen to me. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And someone out there needs the wisdom you carry. So speak up. Write a letter. Join a group. Call someone. Share your favorite memory in the comments below. Even if your hands shake. Even if your voice trembles. Even if it's been a long time. You still have a place in this world. Because loneliness, though powerful, can be broken the moment two hearts connect. And this video, this channel, this moment right now, is a chance to make that connection. If this message has spoken to you today, I want to ask you for 3 things. First, like this video, so it reaches others who need it. Second, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, where senior health, life stories, and real wisdom come together to build something meaningful. Third, comment below, tell me, where are you watching from? And if you've ever felt lonely, or broken through loneliness, share that too. You never know who it might help. Here's to the hands that still deserve to be held. To the stories waiting to be told. To the lives that still have so much left to give. And here's to you, my friend. Still here. Still breathing. Still worthy. Always.